Hi there, I'm Sarah Burns, and today I want to talk about um, shamanism and PTSD. And this came up for me this week where I had a potential client call, who had told me that he had gone to a psychic who told him that his soul had been taken from him and placed up in the fifth dimension, where there were five beings holding him back from returning to his body. Apparently, this psychic also took $3,500 for him to work on him for a month. And when I heard that, I was just feeling extremely outraged internally over hearing how and what had happened to him. And it made me think about some of the terminology and the practices that we talk about in shamanism. And through the years, I have kind of reframed how I like to refer to soul retrieval work in a different way. One of the biggest things, first of all, I did train with Sandra Ingerman, who wrote the book on soul retrieval, and I did learn a lot from her trainings, but I came to this place in my own healing practice that term really doesn't serve the people that I work with, because many of them come to me who do have PTSD. And there is in PTSD where you dissociate or you feel the sense of being in a dreamland, which is depersonalization. Things just don't feel real to you. But your soul is still there. It's just that the soul is been compartmentalized into spaces to where you don't feel things. And it is a way for you to protect yourself from everyday life after you've been in trauma. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because thinking of that term, soul loss, implies a lot of things that makes it feel as if a person has absolutely no control over whether or not they can ever function again. And when I think of a soul being lost, then what comes to mind for me is somebody that doesn't have the ability to function whatsoever. You can't eat or drink, you can't think for yourself. And just like with the person calling me who truly believed that his soul had departed him, I said, well, wait a minute. Who made the choice for you to pick up the phone to call me? It's very simple. And it's not that his soul is gone. It's just that he's not in full connection with his soul. Now, in the Tibetan tradition of shamanism, they call it soul trauma. And that term really sits well with me, because what it's saying is that your soul has found a way not to feel in this world, because your soul was impacted by trauma. And even though that there's been this disconnect with the soul, it's a way that you figured out to take care of yourself. So on a very unconscious level, that became a choice of yours, that you were going to protect yourself. And the way that you were going to protect yourself was not to feel anymore. You were not going to touch that trauma that happened. And you're not going to allow other traumas to penetrate you like that initial trauma did. And that does create a pattern for people where we can replay our traumas out over and over again, but it isn't going to have that same impact like the first trauma did. And so I'm thinking of my own history with trauma, to where I really at times put myself in some really dangerous situations and didn't really think along the lines that I could be harmed, because everything felt like a movie to me and everything felt unreal. So me being putting myself in these situations didn't make me think that I was going to be harmed in any way. So I don't really want to talk about me. I want to talk about what I do. And this person said that he was in the fifth dimension. He did come in to see me, and he was not in the fifth dimension. He did not have spirit intrusions. There wasn't any outside influences over his being. But he did say he doesn't feel anything. He's not hungry. He doesn't have emotions. I think he also mentioned, he's having sexual problems because he's not in body. Now, I've been doing this work a really long time. And the thing that I tell clients when they come in this situation is that oftentimes what I see is that we are living up here, our functioning, our intention is up here. And the reason it is up here is for a number of reasons. First of all, it allows all of our energy to be honed in to our external environment. We're seeing things more clearly, we're observing closer, we hear things louder, we hear voices sometimes. Everything is amplified because our energies are up here, and that creates a sense of hypervigilance. It also, what I tell people is we're up here living so that when the next dangerous thing happens, we have the ability to immediately check out and go. That would be a soul loss, and that would be death. But all of that truly is not the way a person wants to live their life, but they've been trained to live their life that way. And on the other end of this is that with all the energy up here in a person, then all of this down here, starting from the navel area down, has been shut off. They are not connected to earth energy. They are not able to feel their body because they are not totally in body. And that's an energetic thing. Most of my work is done in helping people get back into body. And I don't normally start with the direct techniques to do that, because there's a lot of information down here that needs to get processed, and that can be really uncomfortable. So we take it slow initially, but when I begin this work, people do feel a significant difference after they leave. And it's something that still needs to get processed. And I won't go into all the reasons why today. It's just that when I see Reiki people up here, it's like this is the last place a person with PTSD needs to get energy work on. It's also the same in psychiatry and mental health with the treatment of TMS, because you're only focused on magnets on the brain, when in fact what needs to get focused on is filling the energy and restoring the energy in the lower body, so that all of this up here has a way to go back down and feel safe in the body again. So again, I want to just say that with soul loss, it implies that a person is, everything is beyond their control, that they cannot find a way to heal. And it does open the door up for people to get conned by overpriced services. You know, to say that your soul is in another dimension with beings not allowing you to come back, when somebody's already obviously experienced trauma in their life, I don't see how that heals anyone other than the pocket of the psychic. And that's infuriating to me. It's really easy too that when you have PTSD, you do experience, because of this energy up here, you can experience hearing voices, and you can experience seeing things that other people can't. But those things sometimes, if not always, can be resolved or managed if you do the work on balancing out the lower part of your body. Many people that go into healing work are very psychic and very intuitive because they did come from a trauma history. But the problem that a lot of people have with all of that extraneous information is not knowing how to go within and really synthesize the information, because again, they're living in fear. So reframing the term soul loss, I think it's more appropriate to calling it soul trauma, because what you need to understand if you have soul trauma is that you made a very logical choice at that moment to protect yourself and take care of yourself, and to still find a way to function in the everyday world. The key is for you to embrace that knowledge that you made a choice. And it very well may be that you need someone to help you find the tools to open that door of yourself again and reconnect. So I'm here to say that this is what I do. It's a key focus in my profession, that I do work with people energetically healing their depression symptoms, anxiety symptoms, and trauma symptoms. I've spent my years in training focused on these things in particular, with it nutritionally, with coaching. That's the term I have to use in California, as well as with energy work. And you truly need to have the energy work to reopen the doors. But you also need to find someone who knows how to do the energy work. Not every energy healer has the ability to go, I know exactly what you need in order to get from point A to point B. But I feel like I've had years, 18 years experience with this, that I can help people with this. But again, I just want to point out one more time that it begins with you reframing the fact that you have soul loss, but rather a soul trauma, and that you need the tools to reconnect with your body. Nobody has taken your soul away. No one or no being has that ability to completely take your soul away. You need to accept that piece of it and get the proper help that you need. So I'm Sarah Burns, and I hope that this is enlightening to those who are struggling and feeling a loss with how to take care of themselves and overcome their trauma symptoms. Just recognize that you made a very logical choice at one point, but now you need to give yourself permission to come back into body again. You take care and have a wonderful day.